We go. All right. So thank you so much for joining me. And I wanted to introduce you to Brand Magic, which is my new white label license where people can use the Brand Magic personalities test on their website. So just a little bit about me. My name is Debbie O'Connor, also known as Debbie O. I am a brand strategist by profession and a graphic designer by trade. I have been in the branding space for over 2 decades now. I originate from South Africa, from a small bush town near the Kruger National Park. And the town is called White River, which is why I've called my branding studio White River Design. It's that little piece of home that I get to have with me each and every day. But the thing is, when I started my branding studio, I never started it because I had this wild passion for owning a business. I started it because my boss, when I was 5 months pregnant, decided he was not going to give me maternity leave. And so even though this is highly illegal in Australia, it did make me realize that I wouldn't want to go back to working for someone like him anyway. So I kind of started my own little thing on the side, a bit of a side hustle, really not knowing all that much about running a business. What I did notice though, is that when I got a new client and they'd say, oh yes, I need help with branding, what they were actually saying is, can you design me a logo? And they had no idea what branding was actually all about. So I had to try and figure out a way that I could problem solve this. I wanted branding clients. I wanted to work on brands. I didn't only want to design logos. So I thought back to when I was at university and I studied philosophy and industrial psychology. And I came across Carl Jung at that time. And so I thought, well, maybe this would be an interesting way for me to be able to educate my customers while keeping them on track and letting them understand that branding is a whole lot more than simply just getting a logo designed. So I started working with Carl Jung's 12 archetypes, and I developed a system that I was using in my business where I would take clients through a bit of a process, a word association process, and we would discover what their personality was out of the 12 archetypes. And after doing this for a little while, I had clients say to me, oh, this would be so good to get my team involved. And is there any way I've got somebody who is in a different state? How can they do this? So I then turned it into an online test. And to date, we've had over 4,000 people from 35 different countries take this particular test. But what it showed was that there was such an interest in this particular system. And I've been using it now in my business for well over a decade, and it has been incredible. So who is this for? This particular system would work brilliantly for brand strategists, graphic designers, copywriters, photographers, videographers, marketers, social media managers, even business coaches. We're talking about anybody who works with branding. So this is a fantastic structure that they can all utilize. But let's talk about why it's important, right? Because the reality is that for too long, and I'm going to get on my high horse here and I'm going to be unapologetic about it, because for too long, creatives have been undervalued, they have been undermined, and they have been underpaid. And this categorically needs to stop. And the reality is that other business people out there don't want me saying this because it means that they're going to have to pay more for our services. But the reality is that every day we are solving problems for other people. We are making other people money. And so we need to be remunerated for this. But what is the real problem? And this is what we need to get to the crux of. And I'm sorry to tell you, but the real problem is you. The real problem is me. As creatives, we are fantastic at doing the work that we love doing, that we're trained at, but we are not necessarily great at being business owners and running a business. This is because we shy away from difficult conversations. We don't like to talk about money. We don't like to talk about copyright and how people might not own what you are creating for them. We don't like to tell clients when there is scope creep because these are difficult conversations. We are people pleasers. We want people to be happy. We want them to love the work that we're producing. And we find it very hard to say no. And we find it hard to market ourselves. Often we are fairly shy people. Often we don't like to toot our own horn. And so it's very hard for us to get ourselves out there and spruik about all the great stuff that we're doing. And then, of course, there comes the managing of workflow, scope creep, and then client expectations. And then the final one, and this is the biggie, is actually charging for our expertise and charging decently for our expertise, which is really hard when we have competitors in places like 99 Designs and Fiverr and the likes, and with things like AI and ChatGPT and everything else coming out there. So who can relate on any of these? If you are a creative and you do not relate on any of these, then you're probably in the wrong place and you can head off right now. But if you relate to any of these, the reality is you are not alone. And this group of collective people who are in creative industries that all work with branding and are becoming part of our Brand Magic community are learning the value of connection, collaboration, and that dealing with other people who understand exactly what you're going through is super powerful. So I have a simple solution and it's called brand personalities. But before I get into that, what exactly are brand personalities? Some people might know them as archetypes. Now, these were not developed by myself. As I mentioned earlier, this is something I came across when I was studying philosophy. And this man on the screen is Carl Jung. He was a philosopher and psychologist in the early 1900s. And he studied hundreds and thousands of personalities and determined that there were 12 key archetypes that kept popping up. And these different archetypes, these personalities, as I like to call them, are ones that we actually already know. They sit in our unconscious bias. So regardless of your language, your culture, where you come from, we actually all intrinsically know and understand each one of these personality archetypes. So let me give you an example. If I were to say to you, an innocent maiden, a heroic prince, a ruler over all the land, and a wise old woman, I bet you've conjured it up in your mind not only what they look like, but also their personality traits. And I would bet you $1 million right now that that innocent maiden does not have short black spiky hair covered in tattoos, walking down the street, kicking over bins and swearing at people, right? Your brain is going, no, 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 no. That's not the innocent maiden. But if I say to you that is the rebel, you go, oh yeah, totally. I totally get that. Now imagine if we apply these same psychology-based strategies to branding, to develop brands. Now we start to develop brands with personality. And personality is what is going to cut through the noise and allow people to really connect with the brand in a truly authentic way. So to date, we have had, as I mentioned, over 4,000 players from 35 different countries take this personality test. So what I know to be true is that people are curious. People want to find out this type of thing. But unlike one of those buzz quizzes on the website where you find out what your Christmas name would be if you were an elf, this information that we're giving is gold. It can change their business. It can change their brand. It can truly make people connect and resonate with them. So it is of very high value. So what's in it for you, you might ask? This particular system will allow you to generate leads. You'll be able to engage your customers. You can add strategy. to your tool belt, which you can charge more for, by the way, you can generate passive income depending on what level you are on with the subscription. And you can keep your clients on track, because when they know what their brand personality is, if they try and go off on a tangent, you can always pull them back and say, hang on, this is your personality. This is what we need to stick with. It's going to save you a huge amount of time, because a lot of the problem solving is done for you. As an example, if you have a client who is the caregiver, you are going to use colors and fonts that are softer and gentle. Whereas if you have a client that is a hero, your colors, your fonts, your language, your tone, the energy, everything becomes bolder and stronger and more vibrant. It makes your life so much easier. And you will be able to make more money because you can charge more for your services. So why am I sharing this magic? That is a good question. And it is because I have worked so hard on the system for so long. It would be a shame for me to go to my grave with this. Added to this, I am hugely passionate about supporting others in the creative industry. So I am not a big person who believes in siloed thinking. I believe in collaboration over competition. And I truly feel that this is a system that can make a difference in your life. And I want to share that with you. I also had a really interesting experience a couple of years ago where I found out through my mentor that somebody had taken content directly off my website. They had put it into their entire proposal to a new client. And my mentor had actually seen this proposal, and she said it sounded exactly like me. She then went onto my website and she read word for word from this proposal, which was exactly from my website. And she mentioned this to me because she said, you need to be aware that people are stealing your content. And initially I was incredibly upset and really disappointed that another creative would do this. But once I had settled down in my emotions, I realized that if someone is prepared to steal my content, maybe they'd be prepared to pay for it and legitimately use it with my blessing and not have to worry about being found out. And so this is why I want to share this information. So how does it work? Let me show you a little bit of a demo. And what I'm going to demo for you is simply how easy it is to be able to take the code from the system and embed it into your website, so you immediately have this test online. All right, let me grab the next screen. So here I have logged into the Brand Magic, one of my accounts here. And you will be able to see on the dashboard, you get an overview of how things are working. You also get a section here with your leads. And I want to point this out because this is really important for you to understand that even on the free account, if somebody signs up to take your test, even if they do not take the test, the lead is captured. So it means that you still have a way of being able to connect with that person. All right. So here you can see that the number of plays on the side here, this one here, Kiara has actually taken the test, but these other people haven't even taken the test yet, which to me is not a problem, because this is still an opportunity for me to reach out to these people and connect with them and say, hey, do you want to sign up for the one of my packages or get some design done or anything like that? All right, so let's show you exactly how easy it is. So on the side here, we've got embed codes. I'm going to take the test code and I'm simply going to copy this code. Now I'm going to go to my website, and I use Elementor on my website. So I'm going to create a new page. And when I create the new page, I'm just going to go in with Elementor because I find it a lot easier. This will work with any page builder. So I'm just going to take the text editor, drag and drop. And then I go over to the text area. So it's the code area. And I'm simply going to paste the code in. And boom, there we go. immediately the test is right there within the website. It is so easy to do. And what we then have, as you go further up in the license, if you're going to be a subscriber, you will be able to embed the landing pages for each of the results. So the caregiver, the creator, all of them can be embedded directly into your website. You do not have to create long pages that are going to take you forever. It is simply a matter of copying the code and embedding it directly into your website, and everything then there is white labeled for you. Now, I'm just going to wing over to an amazing woman called Ming Johansson. And Ming is one of our early adopters. She's a licensee, and she has been on the system now, testing and trialing and doing a lot of stuff with me. And Ming, can you please introduce yourself and let me know, or let us know, a little bit about the system and how it has worked for you in your business? That would be amazing.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. It is a bright early 6:18 a.m. in Perth. I'm in Perth, Western Australia. I've actually been a user of brand personalities for about 10 years, actually, I've realized, and I kept referring clients to brand personalities before the quiz became available as a licensee. And literally the moment that email hit my inbox, I was on board, because I was such a huge advocate of this as a program. And the reason being was, so I run a digital marketing agency called Marketing Jumpstart here in WA. We have a team spread across Australia. Our main core business is digital marketing and web. And we found it really hard to keep our clients on track. And so not so much scope creep, but just they didn't know what they wanted and they didn't know who they were. And so a lot of our clients would have a bit of an identity crisis, and they were trying to be everything to everybody. And the quiz really helped us to give them some structure and some boundaries around who they were and their identity, so that they'd stop trying to be everything for everyone. And it meant that projects would move through faster. So we'd get to completion point a lot sooner and a lot earlier. We'd kind of gain back a whole heap of time that we would normally lose in just having lots of conversations about who they are. And yeah, it just really gave us a lot of structure around that.
Fantastic. Thanks, Ming. And you know, one of the things that we've done, we've had a couple of our early adopters that have been on the system. And so what we have found, which is something that I wasn't quite expecting, was the connection that starts to happen between people from different disciplines who are now using each other, because we all understand the system together. So I know I have referred clients to Ming. Ming has referred clients to a marketer. I have used one of the copywriters. So there's the synergy. Hasn't that happened, Ming?
Yeah, we work with quite a lot of the people within the Brand Personalities Network. And a lot of that is because we're all different specialists in different places. And because we can just pass the note and say, hey, this is a rebel brand, it makes all of our lives just a little bit more simpler, a little bit easier.
And when people know the framework and they understand that, simply passing it on and saying, this is the rebel, and understanding that the person at the other end gets it, just makes your life so much easier. As I said, saving time, saving money. These are the kind of things that are so good, and the collaborations that are happening. A question that has come through is what does the client see on the free version? So on the free version, you cannot embed the landing pages into your website. It's a free version. You get access to the test, right? However, if you were going to subscribe, this is the type of page you would get to embed into your website. So this would then no longer have the banners up at the top. It would just be a clean skin of this particular page. And you will see the type of content that comes in here. There is a lot of it. You have all your desires and your goals and your fears. We then go through the different archetypes and the messaging, your culture, your voice, your experience. We have an example of mood boards, the kind of words that would be used. We then go through the family of members, of the Explorer members. So this is just a little bit of nuances that can be added to the brand. So for example, if your client doesn't resonate with every element of the Explorer, you might find that they might be less of a daredevil and maybe more of the Renaissance. So
it's worth pointing out that this is a new addition. So all of us that were early adopters to brand personalities didn't have all of this extra pieces in terms of and that's actually been really useful.
Yeah, so this is all new content, and we're trying to add new stuff all the time as we come through. So for example, we give examples of actual brands with videos so people can hear sound and language and see the energy of how these brands are adapting these personalities. We give other examples. We show what personal brand examples might be. We give ideas for color palettes, for imagery. We then look at the 5 senses that would then enhance the brand. So we're looking at sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. And when it comes to the smell, we have partnered with Michael Edwards, who has this amazing fragrance wheel. And this is where you can then very easily be able to say to a client, right, if you are the Explorer here, Earth is the scent that would be very good for your brand to enhance your brand. So there's a lot of information. And then if they come down to the key down at the bottom here, they can simply click on any of these other personalities and they will get access to the unlock pages as well. So they don't only get access to the page that is related to their brand. All right, let me continue a little bit here. Okay. So what is the investment? Because this is what people are very, very interested in. We have 3 different options for you. Now, you can set up an account for free as a magician's assistant. It is a free account, so of course, it is limited as to what you get access to. However, you can embed the test directly into your website. You can encourage people to go and take the test, and you will generate those leads. You get those leads. We don't have access to your account. We don't collect those leads. They are entirely in your account and your account alone. So we can't market to them. We can't access them. We are not interested in that. They belong to you. All right. Now, as I said, this allows you to embed it and use it as a lead magnet, right? And every time someone takes your test, you will be sent an email saying, congratulations, somebody has taken your test. Why don't you reach out to them and see how you can connect with them and help them? Because the reality is, even if they find out that they are an Explorer brand personality, they don't know what to do with that. And this is where you will be able to come in and say, hey, did you know we can help you with your branding a little bit more? The next 2 subscriptions are either the Magician or the Wizard. All right, I'm going to talk about the Magician because the Wizard is by invitation only. You cannot become a wizard unless you have done the Archetype Academy training. And if you pass the training, you become a wizard and you get invited to become a wizard long term. But the Magician, this is what you get as part of the Magician subscription. The test is a $39 test to take. All right, it's a whopping $39. If people cannot afford $39, they shouldn't really be in business, right? I'm just going to put it out there. It's $39 to get all of that information that I showed you on that particular landing page. So there's a lot of content that they get for their money. If you're on the license subscription, you will earn $30 from every $39 when somebody takes that test. All right, so you can earn commission from it. You get access to purchase coupons. So for example, if you would like to take your client through the test free of charge. You can purchase coupons, and this allows you to be able to send them a coupon and they can do the test for free. You also have access to our Ready to Launch program. I should mention that on the free version, you have that as well. And we do some education around what brand personalities is. It is very light on, but it gives a really, really lovely overview. And it goes through nurturing sequences and how to set everything up on your website. You get supporting documentation, as in all the graphics and marketing collateral to help you be able to market this business. And you also have access to our closed Facebook community, which is where a lot of these connections start to happen. So the investment is $89 a month, all right? Which means that you only need 3 leads a month to cover the cost of your license. And here's the thing, you can cancel at any time. You are not locked into any contract. So I would suggest, you know, give the free version a go. If you feel like you need some more content, you need some more, and you love the system, 100%, you know, upgrade. And then every time someone takes the test, it means that it is taking money off your license, if that makes sense. So you're getting money back.
Can I add something to that,
yes,
Deb?
Go for it.
So it's worth so we use the coupon system. So we actually buy the coupons, and we also get coupons as a part of our license. So we're on the top tier license. We use that to pre-qualify clients, and then what happens from there is they actually end up converting into $1,000 or $4,000 clients. So it more than covers the cost of the license.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you did that, because you have led me right into my next thing. So the extra leads obviously bring you revenue. However, the magic in the system isn't just in the test. Okay, although the test is awesome, that is not where the test is. It's in the conversion from the leads to a customer. So firstly, the credibility of being able to offer a psychology-based system means that you are elevating your position. You can charge extra for your strategy, and the engagement with your client gives you a better brand outcome. So here we go. Let's assume that your conversion rate is 30%. I'm going on 30% because that is what people sort of sit as the, you know, an average. And if you look at it and you go, well, your average sale is $1,000. That means that for every 3 players who take your test, if you convert 1 to a client, just 1 to a client, with an average sale of $1,000, you have made almost 12 times your $89 monthly investment, simply by getting 1 client, right? Imagine doing that every single month. It becomes a bit of a no-brainer, right? You've got nothing to lose by giving it a go. All right, so what's next? If you head to brandmagic.com.au/licensee, you will get to our landing page and you can create a free account from there. And at that point, you can decide whether you want to upgrade or not. So if you create your free account, you will receive a code to be able to take the test directly on your website. You set everything up on your website, and then you will get a code to be able to test it on your website and give it a go and decide whether or not this is something that you really want up there or not. So that is something that you will get on the free account. However, if you sign up to the paid subscription within the next 24 hours, I'm going to gift you a copy of my book, Brand Magic: How to Build a Brand with Personality. Now, this book made Amazon #1 bestseller, and it's recently just won a Sydney Design Award as well. And the book is valued at $39.95. So you will get that as a gift if you decide to go into the paid subscription. All right, thank you for your time. If there are any questions, please ask them. Let me know. Happy for you to come off mute and ask the questions if that makes it easier. Because I know that some people do worry about, well, how's it going to work? How's it not going to work? Why is there a free option? As I mentioned, the free option is there because I want people to be able to use the system. Yes, I can go back to oh, yes, I can put the link in here as well. So
it.
it is brandmagic.com.au/licensee.
I got it. I put it
You
in
got
there.
it. Thanks, Ming. There we go. If there are any other questions, I am happy for you to reach out to me. The email address is hello@brandmagic.com.au, or you can follow us on our social media. Our handle for both Instagram and Facebook is Brand Magic 101. We put a lot of content out there. So, you know, just follow us and you'll be able to see how we are able to share the information about brand personalities and the different ways of being able to use them as well. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time. Ming, thank you so much. You are amazing. Love
It's a pleasure.
As a licensee. And yes, we all just keep doing work together. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you soon as a licensee. Thanks so much.